Okay, so I just got done doing some Leetcode for the day. I did one medium, one hard, and I might do some in a little bit later as well. Basically, what I want to say is if you're a computer science student or you're someone looking for a software engineering job and maybe you're not too confident on where you're at as far as the whole interview process goes, I really recommend that you take this summertime, July and August and September to basically refine your skills as much as you can and build up as much knowledge as you can get, because we all know that during the fall season, all the tech companies are hiring for summer internships, new grad positions, or just regular software engineering positions. So if you're not at where you want to be, then you need to start getting ready now, because you're already running out of time. We're already approaching fall. So if you haven't been studying Leetcode and you feel like you're not ready, I really just am urging you to do that. That's why I've been trying to do at least three mediums every day. Some days I'll do 6 or 7 easies. This is not a normal everyday thing for me either. It's just I've also noticed that I'm not where I want to be, so I've been putting things in full throttle mode, and I've been really going hard at Leetcode for the past 2 weeks. So if you haven't seen my other channel, the reason that I'm going so hard on Leetcode right now is because in the past I've actually had a software engineer internship interview for this summer. But obviously I didn't get it. I failed it because I suck at Leetcode and DSA. When I was taking the interview, it was like we were kind of pair programming on Zoom. It wasn't Zoom, but basically was. I was just with a software engineer for the company, and all I had to do was answer a really simple DSA problem and code it live. But even though I had explained the solution, I had thought of the right solution, I just wasn't able to code it at all. I don't know why. I don't know if it was nerves, because in the past, before that interview, I had solved way harder problems, but it was my first technical interview, and unfortunately I failed it, and that's why I'm not an intern this summer. Also, one thing that I want to say, I'm not sure how relevant this is going to be to anybody, but during the last recruitment cycle, I was kind of applying a lot more than I was actually building. So basically that means I was doing a lot of job applications, because online all I would see is it's like a numbers game, and you have to apply to as many as you can, and you have to network, and you have to do all that stuff. So I was spending a lot of time just sending out applications to companies and trying my best to network, and doing things like that, like refining my resume and all that stuff. But I wasn't actually building any skills, which I think is what has mainly held me back. I think if I had really just hard focused on building projects or even just doing Leetcode, I could have gotten a lot further than where I ended up. So if you're someone who's kind of in that position where you think you need to apply everywhere and you need to have the best resume and all this stuff, first try and focus on just getting something under your belt and actually mastering the Leetcode, mastering a language. Basically just have something to talk about and be prepared, so that way once you are prepared and maybe you will land an interview, you will actually stand a chance at getting it. So basically don't just interview farm if you're not ready for an interview, is what I'm trying to say. But anyways, the problems that I'm doing now on the Leetcode 250 list are the sliding window problems. I'm pretty much almost done. I just have one left, and I actually recorded some footage of me trying to solve them, which will, I don't know, they might be up right now or they might be later in the video. I've never recorded a video like this, so I don't know how exactly I'm going to edit it, but yeah. I did 2 problems. They were pretty. Both of them I didn't get the optimal solution for. I think one thing that I really missed was that I had a problem where the input array was sorted, and for some reason I forgot that if something's sorted, you should try thinking about binary search, and maybe you can get a log n solution instead of an O of n solution. But yeah, that just slipped my mind for the first problem that I had. And then the second problem I had was it was a pretty popular hard question, but the only issue I had was I don't know why, I just couldn't think of the O of 1 trick, which was actually really easy to think of. But regardless, I'm just happy that I solved both of them, even if it was brute force, because I know like a couple months ago I definitely wouldn't have been able to. Oh, that actually brings me to something else that I want to talk about actually. So I haven't taken a DSA class, which is data structures and algorithms, until like last quarter of my schooling, so last winter I think. And that was a game changer, honestly, because before, when I was doing the Leetcode 150 list, I was encountering all these problems, and it was really my first time encountering these subjects. So I would go into it not even knowing the theory, and if you don't know the theory, it's going to be really hard to use the theory, or I mean, obviously, yeah, it's gonna be really hard to make a solution for a specific type of problem if you've never even heard of this type of problem before, you know? So if you're in that position where you haven't taken a data structures and algorithm class, and you're trying to do, I don't even know, like dynamic programming problems, or honestly, yeah, 2D dynamic programming, that is hard. Or like if you're trying to do graph problems, definitely look into some sort of online course, maybe like a free one on YouTube or anything that you can find, because now that I've actually taken a data structures and algorithms course, it is so much easier to think about a solution for any sort of problem. Like it honestly helps you with any sort of Leetcode. So yeah, definitely take one if you haven't. And as far as what I'm trying to do this summer, I think my goal is to just build as much as possible, because I think, you know, if you're just grinding every day and it's the only thing that you're thinking about, there's kind of no way to fail, or there's no way to fall behind other people. And I think that's where most people go wrong, like in anything. If you're not actually putting in the work and you're just expecting results that you think you should have, well then you're just not going to get them. You know, the success comes to those who are working the hardest, and that's why I've been spending hours every single day just sat at my computer grinding Leetcode or grinding on my project. And you know, I think if you just keep on doing that, then there's really no way you can fail, because that's all you can really do. And I think that's all anyone is really looking for. So yeah, with all that said, I don't know, there might be some Leetcode footage now of me trying to do some problems, or they might have been already showing up in like the background B-roll footage. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this, like I said. But yeah, thank you guys. I'm about to do all the sliding window. Hopefully I can do all 3 of these today, even though it's a medium and 2 hards, but we will see. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and work on these. Maybe it will turn into like a time lapse, and maybe I'll talk over it or something, or maybe I won't. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, after like an hour, I figured out this question. I would have rather done it in like 30 or 40 minutes, but at least I finished it. It did not beat very many people in complexity. I don't think I have the optimal solution. Actually, I got an O of N solution. I mean, oh, you know what? Maybe you could have done like some binary search. Maybe I will. Alright, so maybe I'll come back to this problem when I start doing sliding windows. Binary searches. Because that is after stacks on this list. You know what? It honestly took me way too long to get an O of N solution. I feel like I should have just got O of N like that. I don't know how it took me that long. I think I just got honestly kind of sidetracked with one of my solutions, and it took a ton of time. I feel like once you just go down like the wrong rabbit hole, it's kind of like you're already gonna fail if you're in an interview, because I had to change like my thought process for the solution like 3 times, whereas I probably could have got this right away if I would have just thought about it a little bit harder. But yeah, definitely, I don't know why I didn't think of using binary search. At least I got the O of N solution, I guess. But yeah, I definitely want to revisit this. Alright, so I ended up solving Leetcode number 76, minimum window substring. I definitely don't think I got the optimal solution. I'm pretty sure I did it in O of n time. So like O of n squared if m equals n. For some reason the Leetcode time complexity analysis is saying O of m plus n, but I'm pretty sure that's not true. Because it says I only beat 6%. Let me try resubmitting it and see what it says. Yeah, I'm only beating like 5%. So yeah, it wasn't that hard. Like I already knew what the brute force solution would be just right off the bat. I spent most of the time just trying to think of a better solution, but to be honest, I couldn't really think of one. And so that's why I ended up just doing the brute force for now. But I'm gonna go ahead and watch the Leetcode video on this problem, and hopefully he'll explain it better than I solved it. Alright, that is pretty much it for today. I wanted to do one more question, but I'm already starving, so I'm just gonna go ahead and call it here. I'll probably work on my personal coding project later. Maybe I'll do some more Leetcode later, but for now, thank you for watching, and goodbye.